What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Texans Junkies. Got a late night edition coming to y'all. I'm Mark, as always, joined by Nathan.
What up?
We had to get a podcast in before the Hall of Fame game. That was a must. So we're coming to you real late on a Wednesday, but a lot of news has happened. A ton has happened. We haven't filmed in a couple weeks, and training camp started. Just a lot of stuff's going on. So. Nathan, how are you doing, man?
Doing great, bro. Just ready for tomorrow. We're actually going to Lake Charles. We're going to go gamble it up. We're going to go put some money on the Texans money line, parlay it with the over, and hopefully win some bread.
Yeah, we're just going to be degenerates for a couple days. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Been looking forward to it for a while. But, yeah, let's get started with the news. Leading us off, man, really sad. Jacoby Jones passed away at 40 years of age. And Nathan, I'm sorry, I came ill prepared. Did they ever release a cause of death?
I'm also not too prepared on it. I mean, I know it was like they didn't know what it was and they were still waiting on the autopsy. But regardless of how he passed or, whatever happened, he's so young and he made an impact in the NFL for sure. One of the best return men of all time. At least with the Ravens, he was amazing. He wasn't as great with us, I don't think, as he was with the Ravens. For sure.
No,
but
he had his moments, and if I remember correctly, he was actually fairly frustrating to watch at times. I remember just drop passes, and he would fumble on kick returns, but the athleticism and the ability was there, and I guess the Ravens just unlocked it. By the way, cause of death, I just looked it up. They haven't released it. Apparently, he had some sort of medical condition, but for now, it's under wraps still. So
yeah,
really sad.
So yeah, I mean, just super young, man, and it's sad to see anyone die, but a former Texan, former Raven, Super Bowl champ, right? He won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, so
yeah,
just really sad situation. Thoughts are with his family, and he has a kid too. And actually, he the playoff game against us, he came out of the tunnel at the Ravens game. I'm pretty sure. I think he was doing the coin toss or something.
Yeah, that sounds right. I remember
he was there for sure, 100%.
Yeah, and he has a hell of a highlight reel too with the Ravens. He had the 109-yard kick return, and then he had a Super Bowl touchdown catch, if I'm not mistaken. It was down like the right sideline or something.
Yeah, he was awesome. He had crazy athletic.
Some high highs for sure. But yeah, rest in peace, Jacoby Jones. Best wishes to his family. Actually, I told Nathan, but I recently bought right after this news broke a autographed Jacoby Jones picture. So probably should have debuted that. This would be the right time, but it's not with me. So also Randall Cobb retired. I believe around the beginning of training camp. He was not with us for very long, but former Texan, of course we're going to mention it. Any thoughts, Nathan?
Yeah, I think he said he's still, willing to have an opportunity, but he is going to retire for now. I think he got a ESPN job or a CB, I don't know, some job for college sports or something like that. So, best of luck with his future endeavors. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't with us long, and he's obviously known for Green Bay. But still nice to mention it.
Yeah, I didn't know about that media role, but wish him the best.
Yeah. So we got Cam Akers. At first, whenever I saw this, I was like, man, there's a reason they got Cam Akers. In my opinion, there was one of two things. It was a deal they can't pass up for a talent because it wasn't too long ago where he was doing really well. And I believe LA, the Rams. And my second thought was are they not seeing enough out of Pierce? Are they not seeing enough out of Jawar? And from the looks of it, it looks like they're not seeing enough from Jawar because and by the way, Jawar Jordan, the running back from Louisville that we got in the draft, because I think they have him over Jawar or him right behind Jawar. But I think for now, the way the depth chart was released, Dameon Pierce is RB2, which is what we wanted. Me and Mark both agreed, we want Dameon Pierce. He's so hard not to like. The guy is amazing, great person. His media, I don't know if you saw his press conference just a couple days ago. Dude just knew what to say. It's just hard not to root for the guy. I wish him the best. I really hope we keep him. I hope he can break out this year because I want him to be right after Joe Mixon. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and we've seen what he can do. That's the frustrating part. So we hope he can unlock that again. Right now, as the depth chart stands, It's Mixon, who, by the way, has not practiced in like 3 or 4 days.
I saw that, yeah.
That's something to keep an eye on. It's Mixon, Pierce, Dare Ogunbowale still has that 3 spot. And then I believe it's Jawar and then Cam. So I think Jawar and Cam are going to get a lot of reps during the Hall of Fame game, because with Dare, it's like he's involved in special teams as well. I really don't think he's going to be cut. I'd be pretty surprised. But
from what I've heard too, Dare's been doing really well out the backfield catching passes. So, maybe they're unlocking an ability that he didn't really do last year. I don't remember him catching a lot of balls out in the backfield.
He was a pass catcher with the Jaguars, and then he didn't really do that much with us. Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll see what they can do. Mark mentioned this, that the Texans cut Ladarius Henderson, our last pick of the 2024 NFL draft, due to a non-football related injury. I didn't know about this until like 5 minutes ago. And it was at the beginning of training camp. So kind of sad news. I mean, not that like he probably would have been involved too much, but it's always sucks when you see a guy that gets drafted, that's his dream, and then, gets cut short. Like we don't necessarily know exactly what happened, but we wish him the best. Good luck, guy.
Yeah, tough. I mean, when you have someone who was picked like near the end of the 7th round and they can't play for presumably a huge chunk of the season, you just got to give someone else an opportunity at that point. So maybe we'll see him again later.
Yeah.
Up next, Danico Autry suspended for the first 6 games of the next season due to PED violations. So supposedly, Danico says that he was prescribed some sort of medication that had nothing to do with football. I can't remember if it was just I don't know what the deal was, but it had some sort of substance in it that violated his PED test, and he said that he has never taken performance-enhancing drugs, and he never will. He wouldn't do that. So I'm not sure if he's able to what do you call it?
Like appeal it?
Yeah, appeal it. Thank you. I don't think he's able to. So I don't think we're going to see him until week 7. But again, just a huge blow to a defensive tackle group that we've been talking about. Like, we feel like we should have done more to address in the offseason, probably our weakest spot on the roster. I don't know. Any more thoughts, Nathan? Because this kind of came up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of like, pisses you off a bit, just because, like you said, D tackle is pretty slim, and he's also very versatile. Like, he can play outside, play inside, and you're just losing a big piece, and you paid him 2 years, $20 million. So that's another big thing. But, it could have been worse. It could have been a year. It could have been 12 games. So it's only 6. And I think from what I'm hearing, Mario Edwards is doing really good in training camp. So is Fatu Kazi, who actually stepped on CJ Stroud's foot a couple days ago, which was a little scary. 300-pound man stepping on your star quarterback's foot's a little scary, but everything was all good. CJ was fine. Obviously, he didn't mean to do that. That's not his intention. But yeah, that's not too much on Danico. But this one, I do have a couple thoughts. The Stingley versus Schultz scuffle at practice just a couple days ago. I want to start by saying this. I know Dalton Schultz said at his press conference that it's football. Like, it's just football. That push was far from football. That could have seriously injured our starting tight end. That could have, seriously, like he could have broke, he didn't know the hit was coming. He could have got concussed because of the whiplash. He could have broken neck. He could have broken a lot of different things. And for Derek Stingley to do that, I think it was wrong. I do. I like Derek Stingley, but I think that was so out of line, 100% out of line from Derek Stingley. He shouldn't have done that. And it would have been nice to hear from him saying, I was wrong, but I don't think we're going to get that. But I think he was 100% wrong in that situation.
Yeah, it's difficult to defend. Basically, the backstory of this, by the way, is someone hit Stephon Diggs late. I believe it was
Ward, I think, right?
It was Ward. And then Schultz shoved Jimmy Ward. And I don't know if Stingley just didn't see why Schultz was shoving Ward or what, but Stingley's response to that was pretty disproportionate. Like you said, he could have imagine if Dalton Schultz has a broken collarbone and he's out for first half of the season or the whole season. Like it's just like it's difficult to defend. I understand that practice is heated, and I actually love that. Like I love that the competitive atmosphere that D'Amico Ryans is fostering. So I don't know. I'm trying not to look too much into it. Arian Foster actually appeared on a podcast, and I'm not sure whose podcast it was. Can't really give credit because I saw just a clip. But he was talking about how that kind of thing happens all the time, and Arian Foster didn't seem very concerned about it occurring, and he said it was a good thing. So, take that for what it's worth. But good to hear from Foster, and he seems like he might be more involved with the team going forward. I thought he was talking about that a little bit too. So that could be interesting to see. But
yeah, that'd be awesome. I love Arian Foster, favorite running back that the Texans ever had. So
I don't know. Duke Johnson was pretty awesome. So
yeah,
I'm kidding. No, the Arian Foster Ben Tate combo was just incredible to witness.
Yeah, actually, I was just watching a clip today. It was like a hype tape of Brian Cushing, and it was the best thing I've ever seen, dude. It was the best. Like it was. Remember whenever he went after that Browns lineman, he punked him going down the field and took his helmet off and just rammed his head right into his helmet. He was bleeding.
Yeah.
And then there was one, I think it was on Hard Knocks, where he was going after Alfred Blue.
Yes,
he's like, "Come on, Blue! Come on, Blue!"
I felt terrible for Blue. He was being absolutely bullied. But it's like he's a running back. Like, how is he supposed to put up a fight?
And then Cushing was like, "That's 2 sacks, quarterback and him."
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, this guy
he
was a beast. I know he was on steroids. We all know that, but he was a beast, bro. Like,
awesome. He's one of the best linebackers in Texans franchise history. So
yeah,
go for it.
Well, here's a guy that played with him. I just want to say this. As a Texans fan, we're 22 years in, and we have our first Hall of Famer, Andre the Goat Johnson. I mean, I remember watching him in person, watching him on TV. My favorite wide receiver to ever play for us. I used to love D-Hop until the whole thing fell out, which wasn't his fault. But there was a legitimate case for D-Hop Andre kind of going back and forth, like who's going to be better. Obviously, Bill O'Brien cut that short, so we couldn't see. But, dude, I'm so happy for Andre Johnson. I know he's been trying to get in for years. A lot of people thought he was first ballot. I did, but that was more bias. I thought he was probably second year, third year, and I think this is his fourth year, isn't it?
I thought it was third year, but you might be right.
Either way, it's either second or third or fourth. I thought it could be the third, second, third year. But, man, congratulations to that guy, man. He totally 100% deserves it. And I just want to say this. I think we talked about it before. C.J. Stroud said Nico Collins is our age Andre Johnson, and he is so far from being – he's so wrong. Andre Johnson was quarterback proof. It didn't matter who was throwing him the ball. Didn't matter. He was catching it. He was going to get some rack yards. He was gone. Nico Collins, I love you. I love Nico, but he needed C.J. Stroud to blow up, and we all know that. We saw that. But that's not to discredit Nico Collins. That's just to say Andre Johnson was a beast and could not be stopped, and that's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, when you talk about him being quarterback proof, you're so right, because Matt Schaub, he was good, but Andre Johnson made Matt Schaub look a lot better than he truly was. He had to deal with, I believe, Carr in his first and second season, then Rosenfels, Yates, Schaub, and then after Schaub, Keenum, Mallett, Fitzpatrick, all of it. Just so many quarterbacks. And I think that one thing that left him out of the Hall of Fame for a while, he had 70 touchdowns over his career, and that isn't a ton. Like when you're comparing stats to other Hall of Fame wide receivers. And it's just because, and he talks about this with Arian Foster, when they got down to the red zone, they're giving it to Foster to get into the end zone. Like Foster got a lot of touchdowns that probably took away from Johnson. Johnson, ton of yards. But they've talked about that before, and I think that's one factor. Also the fact that, they never went to the AFC Championship game. I think he was first team All-Pro twice. And he's playing in the age of, Larry Fitzgerald, Randy Moss,
Megatron.
Megatron, yeah, just incredible wide receivers alongside him. So this is absolutely deserved. Make no mistake about it. And he's not going to be the last Texan either, because we got J.J. Watt coming in a few years. Super excited, and hopefully we got some people from our present day team. So really, really happy for him. This transitions pretty cleanly into the fact that the Hall of Fame game is tomorrow, Texans versus Bears. Again, super excited to watch some football. Football is finally back. August 1st. It took forever. It seems like ages since we fell to the Ravens back in January.
And I don't care that it's preseason. I don't care.
I'll be watching, man. I'll be watching, and it's going to be exciting. We'll see what Davis Mills has. I'm excited to see some of our young players who might be on the bubble competing together. And, man, I'm thrilled. Do you have any notes about the Hall of Fame game? Because,
I just wanted to say,
happen.
I wanted to say real quick about the Davis Mills thing. I was listening to Landry Locker. Shout out Landry Locker. He said that he thinks Tim Boyle will get most of the reps.
That's crazy.
So just beware. If you're planning on betting Davis Mills passing yards like Mark was, don't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I get it. I think they'll keep Davis Mills in for a while. I think maybe Caserio is going to keep him in for a while to get him some good tape and maybe trade him to a team who's quarterback needy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just keep him as a backup, which I would prefer. But Tim Boyle, he was signed, and when he was signed, I think it was Caserio who said the only reason we're signing this guy is to have a body at practice. And I didn't see anything from him in the last season with the Jets. The Jets, albeit were a disaster, that warranted him getting reps of any kind. So. We'll see. I think you can make a safe bet that we won't see Keenum though. So
yeah, and it looks like also from Landry Locker that Keenum is like following Slowick around. This looks like Keenum's last year, and it looks like he's looking to get into a coaching role. Hopefully with the Texans, I'll take a QB coach. That'd be awesome, because I think if Slowick leaves, we'll promote Gerard to offensive coordinator, and then we can bring Keenum in as quarterback coach. And he's a great quarterback coach. They say, like, I think you mentioned it too, like, when CJ Stroud has something to say and he doesn't want to tell Slowick, he'll tell Keenum, who will tell Slowick. And like that's what you need. You need that relationship with the quarterback room. And it's Case wants the best for CJ. Case doesn't have any more to give to the game. He's on the roster because we love him and he's a great guy to have in your locker room. But he has no more to give for the game. And it's disappointing, but he already gave what he had. He's been in the league he's a U of H alum. He's been in the league for, 10 years now? More?
He was drafted in 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so
maybe 2014, because he replaced Matt Schaub after the first, I think, 6 games of the 2013 season. I'm almost certain.
So 12 years in the league.
Yeah, we won the first 2 and then went 0-14. That was a terrible season. I went to like 2 of those games too. That was brutal. But yeah, Keenum, barring some sort of quarterback disaster, which of course, knock on wood, like we don't want that to happen. The games he played, the 2 games he played last year were the last games that he will play. And you could tell in that second game he played. So yeah, regardless, we're super psyched for this game. Awesome that the Texans are kicking off the NFL season. So we're thrilled. Our main segment tonight, if you want to call it that, we're going to go through the Houston Texans depth chart and sort of grade every single position. So it's kind of going to be like a cumulative grade of all the pieces we have at that position. And man, it was fun going through this, because in past years there would have been a lot worse grades out there. And I bolded, if you're watching this on YouTube, which you have to be because that's all we upload to, I bolded the star players, and we have players bolded nearly every slide, if not all of them. So it's really exciting. But we're gonna start going through the depth chart.
And real quick, Mark, before we start, just a couple things to say before we move on to the slides. For the Bears game tomorrow, and this is because me and Mark were going just in the spirit of gambling, because we're going to be going gambling this weekend. Me and Mark are most likely going to be putting in a bet for Texans money line, which is looking really good. We were the underdog. Now we're the favorite because Chicago came out and said that they're playing none of their starters, and we believe in our depth. We've talked about our depth in depth a couple of episodes, and we know who we have. We know who can ball. We have some rookies that are looking great against some really good vets. So I think the move, in my opinion, is your money line or your over, which is really low. Mark even was shocked when I said the number is about 31.5 to 32, depending on the sports book
Wow.
that you look at. I would smash the over. Yes, it could be wrong, but it's too low for me not to take. And parlaying them together will give you plus odds, which I looked and it was about plus 253, bet 100, win 253. But yeah, so none of their starters are playing if you're looking to bet, or if you're just interested in the game itself. None of their starters are playing, so we'll have some of our rookies that we're looking to get a lot from play tomorrow against some second string guys, third string guys, and hopefully everything goes well. I did hear Jawar Jordan's supposed to get a lot of reps though, lots of
Yeah,
reps.
I'm looking forward to that, and I think it also just comes down to coaching. I think we have a better coaching staff, and I think the Bears are a lot more top heavy than us. Like you look at the team that the Bears have surrounded Justin Fields with in the past 3 years, and it's been like notoriously bad. And they added some shiny new pieces like Keenan Allen, Montez Sweat, but that was during the last season. And who am I missing? I'm missing one more.
DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Caleb Williams,
DeAndre
DeAndre
Swift.
Swift.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So I just think that they're a top heavy team, and I think we're well coached. We want it more. So
And none of them are playing either. So
yeah, hopefully I don't end up eating my words, but we'll see. I think we got a great chance to win. But
yeah.
Thank you for the betting odds. DraftKings, please sponsor us. Okay, we're gonna start with quarterback, and the grade we're giving our quarterback room is an A. I also wrote down notable players on the depth chart, so it's all of them in this case since quarterback room's small. C.J. Stroud, Davis Mills, Case Keenum, Tim Boyle. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, like, what quarterback would you want to start a franchise more with right now than CJ Stroud? Like
right.
Who? So amazing position, starting quarterback. We have a great backup, great veteran guy in Case Keenum. Really the only reason why quarterback room doesn't get an A+ is because we don't have Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean,
right.
We're in a great situation. Quarterback, maybe I don't want to, start saying things I'm going to regret halfway through the season, even though I believe in this team, but maybe the best quarterback situation we've ever been in. So,
yeah.
Super exciting. Any more thoughts?
No, I mean, there's not much to say when you have CJ Stroud in your squad. So,
yeah. Davis, the neck Mills as well.
Yeah.
See over that O-line for sure. Running back, we're grading them a B. Nathan, go ahead and take this.
Yeah, Joe Mixon hasn't been practicing. That might be a vet thing. That might be he's just not feeling great. I think at the end of the season last year with the Bengals, he wasn't feeling too good. But when you look past Joe Mixon, who is like the highest rated running back in Madden, 25 coming up, 92 overall, which is really good. You like seeing that on your team. By the way, hold on.
Oh yeah, we got to
totally
talk about
forgot.
This. We got to talk about the
go back to this guy right here, CJ Stroud. They have Jordan Love, Kirk Cousins. Who else do they have above him? Justin Herbert. And these are all the people that ride CJ Stroud all off season. Oh, he's amazing, which he is. He deserves an 87 at least. They have him in an 81. 81.
That's disrespectful.
That's what he started with.
Yeah.
That's what he started with last year. It's absolutely absurd. I mean,
I'm seeing 80 actually.
80. Even worse.
I mean, what is that? Let me tell you some other quarterbacks in front of him. Brock Purdy, which
okay. He's assistant quarterback.
Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't played in a year or two. Matthew Stafford, yeah, I can see that. Jared Goff, I don't agree. Jordan Love. I mean, the person who's after CJ Stroud is Baker Mayfield, and in my eyes, there's such an enormous drop off between Stroud and Baker. It's unbelievable. And let me tell you what I have even more beef with. I was actually like repulsed, disgusted by this. Nico Collins, 83.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? I mean, he didn't make the top 15 list, and he wasn't even close. Like, I think top 15, like the 15th rated wide receiver was like an 88 or an 87 ranking. And we have Stephon Diggs at, I think, a 91, 92. Nico Collins at an 83 is absolutely disrespectful. And I am certain that he saw that rating and he thought to himself, I just can't wait to prove them wrong. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just Madden, do better, please. I mean,
yeah.
y'all, it's the worst. I love Madden. It's the worst game and the best game, but the ratings
And
are absurd.
one more thing, I gotta say the NFL Top 100 list. If y'all are keeping track of this, they're releasing 90 through 81, 80 through 71 every couple days or every day.
Mhm.
It's a terrible list. I don't give them any credit. So if y'all want to look at that list and just glance at some of the ridiculous ratings in there or rankings in there, be my guest. I'm not going to even waste my time going through them because they're so awful.
They have
But
CJ at 20, and it's like this is the same guy that is right next to Patrick Mahomes, yet he's 20th. Like
I don't even hate 20. Like I don't hate 20 for CJ. I just saw some other, like I think Dak Prescott was 12 or 13, which is insane because Micah Parsons is behind Dak Prescott. And anyone who has eyes and watches the NFL knows that Micah Parsons is more talented than Dak. Yeah, it's just crazy. Just ridiculous ratings. I think Laramie came in at like 71.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so whatever. But all right, running back room, B. Now we're going to go to fullbacks. Not going to spend a whole lot of time because it's, the fullback. We gave us a B minus. Andrew Beck, he's proven a lot. He shows that he deserves a roster spot on this team. He kind of does a little bit of everything. A great utility guy. Had that touchdown return last year. He's a good pass catcher. He's a good fullback. Troy Hairston, he's been sort of a bubble guy with us for the last couple of years. I feel like both training camps he's been a part of, maybe 3 actually. They're like, man, Troy Harrison's looking good. He might have an increased role, and then he doesn't really do anything. So maybe more of like a practice body. But yeah, fullback B minus. Not a whole lot to say there. Going to move on to O-line. We gave the O-line as a whole a B plus. I'll just name some of the notable players on the depth chart. We have our starters, Laramie Tunzel. Kenyon Green, by the way, is listed as a starter on Our Lads depth chart, which is, in my eyes, the most reliable depth chart. Very interesting. Juice Scruggs, Shaq Mason, Titus Howard. In my eyes, pretty solid. Guard spots could be better. I'm excited to see what Juice can do at center.
Left guard spot. Shaq Mason's solid.
Yeah, he's solid. Tunzel and Howard, very confident in them as a tackle duo. And then Blake Fisher highlights our backups, our second rounder this year, Kendrick Green, Jarrett Patterson, Dieter Iceland, and Charlie Heck. Charlie Heck, man. Well, I said it a couple pods ago, but kudos to him for staying on this roster. He's from the Bill O'Brien era. He perseveres. So
yeah.
What are your thoughts about this group, Nathan?
Like I said, man, I mean, we talked about it before the podcast, and we basically said B plus because if we're all healthy, which hasn't been the case the past couple of years, I'd give ourselves a B plus. Laramie Tunzel's the second best left tackle in the league. Kenyon Green has question marks everywhere. Like there's not one thing that you're not questioning about Kenyon Green right now. Juice Scruggs. I like Juice Scruggs, but I really like Jarrett Patterson. By the way, Jarrett Patterson should have been the starter. I think he did really well last year, but
and put Juice at left guard, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Juice did okay at left guard, but we drafted him to be a center, so it makes sense.
I love having Jarrett Patterson as depth at center. I think that's a great.
Yeah, and I think he's swing tackle too. Like he can, or swing offensive lineman. Like he can play guard, tackle. So big guy too. He's big. Shaq Mason at right guard, solid vet, and then Titus Howard, man. Like, look, Mark knows I'm not a huge Titus Howard fan. I think we overpaid him. I think he honestly, and Mark, I don't think Mark can technically really disagree with it. He hasn't proved why he earned that money. Like he hasn't done anything. Like he's getting hurt. There's question marks around his health. And actually, he just came back to practice today after being gone for 2 days because he almost got, I think they said he went to the tent during practice. And I'm like, oh my God, man, like it's happening every year, man. So I don't think, look, and this is the thing, when his contract's over, I don't think Howard is going to be a Texan. Which is okay with me, really okay with me. I think we need to move on from him anyways. But we'll see how he does. I think I have been a little tough on him before. He's just super injury prone. He's just super injury prone.
Like, yeah, he's been injured. It sucks. I didn't know about the medical tent at practice. That's unfortunate. But man, like when he's on the field, and he was on the field for a long time before he got injured. I think he had like an injury at the very beginning of his career, and then he played for like 3 straight years. They put him in tough positions. They had him going to left tackle. He played guard. He played right tackle. I think he's valuable in that he's had experience getting reps there. But man, when he was at right tackle, I mean, his PFF grades were off the chart, and I think he has a lot to prove. I think the money was deserved. It was a lot of money, but like I said, when he's on the field, he's great, and it's hard to find a franchise tackle regardless. So yeah, like we paid him a lot, but I love locking down a tackle of his caliber, and I hope he can stay on the field, because if he can't stay on the field this year, like, yeah, what I'm saying kind of doesn't matter. But my message to you, Nathan, is give him a chance. Like let him prove himself again this year. And if not, like whatever, we'll put Charlie Heck in there and he'll get an average PFF grade. Like it is what it is. But
yeah, and I think it was either pass pro or run pro grade was off the charts for Howard. I think it was run.
I think it was
pro.
pass. Oh, no.
I think it was.
Let me look.
I think it was run pro. I'm not too sure. One of them was like a 90 something. Like it was pretty damn good. But the other one wasn't. Like the other one was like below average or right around average. So yeah, I will give him a chance. Just like, the Texans organization expects all of us fans to give Kenyon a chance to redeem himself and, show why he was a first round pick. So yeah, so I think I can work with that. You ready to move forward?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
Okay. This is a fun room right here. This has there's no question marks in my opinion here, except for Teagan. But the Teagan question mark is he going to make the team? It's not like, health. Like, yeah, I guess, but he's obviously, everyone knows he's a great blocker. But this is a fun room because Dalton Schultz proved first of all, we wouldn't be in the playoffs without Dalton Schultz.
That catch he had where he took it away.
Game, yeah, the Tennessee Titans game where he took the catch away is the only reason we were in the playoffs, because if
there were other reasons.
Well, I mean, seriously though, like if that was intercepted, we wouldn't be in the playoffs because
for sure.
So, but anyways, Dalton Schultz is a great tight end, got him from the Cowboys. Was worth it for them and for us last year. He had a couple drops, he actually struggled with that with Dallas as well. But who doesn't drop, some footballs every now and again. Then you got second on the depth chart is Brevin Jordan, who's really like a receiver in my eyes. He's so fast for a tight end, and he's got a big build too. He's a pretty tall guy. Then you got the guy from Ohio State, Cade Stover, who did really well with CJ. They have a good bond. He did well with the quarterback for Ohio State last year as well. And then you got Teagan Catoriano, who Mark really loved coming out.
I wouldn't say I really loved him. I liked him.
I remember.
It sounds like grade school. Like I liked him. No,
yeah,
he's a 7th round pick, and he had some good moments in practices in his first year. But I mean, he hasn't shown anything in a while. So like, he's definitely on the bubble. My thing with the tight end group is like, I know what their floor is, but what is their ceiling? So that's really all it is.
Yeah. Not too much about the tight ends. We give them a B+. And by the way, these are all consensus grades that we made. So me and Mark both agree on these grades.
Yeah, I don't think we were too far off on anything except for this position, actually. I had him at a B, and I think you wanted to put him at A or A-, and we just said B+. So maybe this is too low. I don't know. But we don't have a Kittle or a Kelsey on our team, so we're not an A+. To the wide receiver group, this is the only group that we have graded as an A+, and it's for a good reason. Don't overthink this one. We have 3 wide receiver ones on this team: Nico, Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell. Our depth is fantastic as well. Noah Brown, John Mechie, who's looking great in training camp, Xavier Hutchinson, who has had moments in training camp, and then Robert Woods, good veteran piece. I don't know if he's going to make the team, but man, this room is stacked. So excited. Stephon Diggs is looking great as well. I've seen some clips of Nico and Tank where it's just like, this is what I'm looking forward to most this season, is watching CJ throw to these guys. So A+, don't overthink it. Nathan, anything else?
No.
Cut and dry.
Except that I don't think Robert Woods won't. I don't think he'll make the team either. I think it'll be the guy we traded for from the Rams.
Oh yeah, I didn't even put him, but I have the
Freaking-
depth chart open right here. Oh yeah, Ben Skoranek.
Yeah, I think Skoranek will be your guy behind Hutch or in
Yeah.
front of Hutch. Hutch has been doing really good in practice, apparently. So.
Yeah, I think on this list, our top 6 right there are going to make the team. So maybe Skoranek too. Skoranek we just swapped 7th rounders for, so no biggie if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Defensive end, A. Will Anderson Jr., Daniil Hunter, Derek Barnett, former first rounder from the Eagles. Jerry Hughes re-signed with us. Amazing veteran piece. Still can play at a high level. Dylan Horton, I'm adding him on there because, listen, I don't expect him to make a huge contribution. He just finished remission from leukemia, I believe. But we'll see. Like, I'd love to see him on the field. Just included him. And JJ Watt, question mark? Like, we'll see. Maybe we pick him up. It's smoke, but where there's smoke, there's fire. So we'll see. What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, man. I think an A is right where I want it to be. JJ Watt, of course, we want him. But when you have Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter on the edge, like, it's like, God damn, dude. Like, what do? You have the defensive rookie of the year, and then you have a guy that just came off a 16.5 sack season. It's like, pick your poison, bro. Like, I don't know what you want. But yeah, so I really love this group. But this one, man, is so disappointing.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing. Danico Autry, I think this could have been a B- with Danico. Mark said that as well, I think, right? You said like this could have been like a B-.
Yeah, Danico. I was thinking C plus B-, but we settled on a C, which is our lowest grade out of all the position groups.
Yeah, so from like I've been hearing in training camp, Fatu Kazi's looking amazing. Mario Edwards is looking great. I haven't heard a lot about Settle or Khalil Davis, but we know what Khalil Davis can do. He did his thing last year. I think he made the most of his reps when he came in. When it comes to hustle, and he's willing to go through the play through the whistle. But man, losing Danico is a tough loss, man, because he had 11.5 sacks last year, and he wreaked havoc against us too. And so I think now they're going to rely more on like the nickel blitz, to try to add more pressure, given that our defensive tackles aren't really that great.
Yeah.
Which Jalen Petrie has been playing nickel at training camp, and he's really good on the blitz. So is King.
I was going to say Desmond King. We didn't put that as a separate position group, but yeah, definitely some good options to spread the line of scrimmage horizontally if that's a weakness. So.
And I mean, obviously Aziz and Christian, they're both fast as hell, and they can get through, they can get through that gap and make some impact down back there and get some sacks as well. But yeah, man, this is obviously the worst group in my opinion now. Especially, it's not safety still a disappointment, but defensive tackle is one to worry about, I would say.
Yeah.
Moving on, this is my favorite group. I mean, other than wide receiver, just because, like, what are you going to do? We got 3 number ones. But this one I'm excited for, man. You got Aziz Al-Shaair, Christian Harris, Henry To'oTo'o, Jake Hansen, Neville Hewitt. Anyone who doesn't know Neville Hewitt, he's really good on special teams. He is like their special team ace. Like, that guy can hit. I think he's a gunner. And I'm excited and I'm also excited to see the new kickoff rule tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. Hopefully that'll bring some excitement back in the game. But
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Aziz and Christian specifically are going to be amazing this year. Mark, I know you were excited for this linebacking group. And what are your thoughts on, the A- that we gave them? I think it's fair, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people would agree. Like really big guys in the NFL game, but I think it's a good grade.
Yeah, I think the linebacker group for the Texans is a huge sleeper around the NFL. And real quick, I just want to say something completely unrelated. Around the NFL, the podcast is my favorite podcast to listen to, and NFL just recently laid off a couple of them. Went in a different direction. Just best of luck. Anyone who listened to the Around the NFL podcast knows that it was more than football. I listened to it for about 3 years, and I was devastated to see them go. So just wanted to throw that in there for anyone who's listened to the podcast. I'm sure they have similar feelings. But back to what I was saying, they're a sleeper group. And when you mentioned Azeez Al-Shaair and Christian Harris when we were talking about defensive tackle, I thought to myself, oh, man, I think I'm looking forward to seeing them almost as much as the wide receivers because, I just think that Azeez and Christian are going to complement each other so well. Like Azeez is that guy who's going to rack up tackles, and you're just going to hear his name over and over again in NRG Stadium. Tackled by Azeez, and you're going to be like, oh, my God, he has 14 tackles this game. And Christian Harris is that guy who you can assign him to the most dynamic player on the opposing team, specifically the running back or tight end, and he's just going to make their life miserable. I can't wait. Henry To'oTo'o, it was his rookie campaign. I'm sure he's been learning a lot. Can't wait to see him. Jake Hansen has a lot of parallels to Neville Hewitt, like both very, very hardworking. There's a reason why they have a roster spot on this team is because they give 100% every rep. Obviously, the departure of Blake Cashman hurts this group, but Azeez coming in, he just slots in perfectly. So Super exciting. Great group.
Yeah. Henry To'oTo'o has some question marks. You're not going to see too much of Hansen or Hewitt playing. You may see the guy we drafted from Oregon. I think they're kind of looking at him at being like more nickel because he's a safety first. I forget his name though.
Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
I should have included
that guy. But anyways, this linebacking group's going to be awesome.
Yeah, looking forward to him. Up next, cornerback. We ranked them a B+. And I think that's exactly where they belong. Derek Stingley Jr. headlining this group, of course. Kamari Lassiter, who is receiving rave reviews in camp. And then you have Desmond King, great veteran presence. CJ Henderson and Jeff Okudah, who we kind of put in the same bucket. Just like guys who are former first rounders, haven't really found their footing. Hopefully one, if not both, find their way with us. And then Mike Ford Jr., who we got from the Browns. Interesting group. I really think they're going to outperform this ranking. Derek Stingley is on the cusp of becoming a superstar in my eyes. And I like this group. I think it's pretty cohesive. We'll see what happens and how things shake up. What do you think, Nathan?
So now looking at it, I do think it's a little high of a grade. The only reason I'm going to agree with B+ is because of how Lassiter's performing in training camp. But again, guy hasn't played a snap of football yet.
It's projection for sure.
But if he's producing like he is against a bona fide number one in Stephon, bona fide number one in Nico and Tank, like, okay, he's got something. I mean, he's not just a bum, and he's faster than we thought too. Everyone's like, "Oh, why'd y'all draft him? He's slow." Man, he is proving everybody wrong right now. They call him like locksmith or lockdown or something like that. Like the dude's locking people up.
Something. He had the fastest 3-cone drill, by the way. No one talks about that. Out of the top corners, he had the slowest 40, but fastest 3-cone drill. I think that's important. Like that's more important than speed in my eyes. If we're gonna have Derek Stingley as sort of like the deep threat ISO guy, like I want Kamari Lassiter to be quick and to be able to change direction quickly. So I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert on football, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but super excited.
But after Stingley and Lassiter, you kind of see a drop off, a really big drop off. Especially with Desmond King, he's aging, and Lassiter's younger. Desmond King doesn't even really play corner too much. He plays nickel, but he is listed as a corner. Henderson, I've heard some good things. Okudah, I've heard he's gotten cooked. I don't know. I've heard he's gotten cooked.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
But, he's cheap, guys. Like, Henderson and Okudah were 2 top 10 picks not too long ago, and they were like $2 million each.
These are low risk, medium reward moves, just like Cam Akers. Just low. Like Nick Caserio is a value guy. Like he's looking for low cost and medium role player type reward situations. Like that's what you want. So
yeah, and I think as days go by, I wouldn't expect Okudah to make the team. It's just the way I feel. I think Okudah just isn't. It's not the same Jeff Okudah from Ohio State. It's just not. And we knew that year 2. We knew that year 3. Now in year 4, we kind of thought coming in like, oh, we got Jeff Okudah, like maybe we can, unlock something that no one else could. It doesn't look that way.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Just like Mark said, we're no expert.
It's not
like,
looking good.
This is just projection. I don't see him making the team. And I think it could be either like Henderson or Okudah. And they've also been known to not be afraid to let go of Desmond King either. So we'll see how that
Yeah, that was the most shocking move of last season. Maybe other than
Kirksey.
Kirksey, who retired. Safety. I'm looking at this now and it seems high. I think we should have gone C+, but we put B- for safety. Jimmy Ward and Jalen Petrie headline this group. Kalen Bullock adds a lot of potential. He was our third rounder, I believe.
Yeah, fourth round.
Third round pick. And then we have Eric Murray, who is somehow on this team still, although he's looked good in camp. Lonnie Johnson and MJ Stewart. So, I mean, I don't see great in this group. I see good and I see okay. So, yeah, B- seems a little high. We probably should have gone C+. I kind of equate them more to D tackle where I see problems. It depends how we utilize Jalen Petrie this year. It depends if Jimmy Ward can stay healthy. Can Kalen Bullock break out and sort of be the cornerstone that we want him to be? Like, I'm not sure. But that's really all I have to say.
Yeah, lots of question marks, man. Now that you say it, I can definitely see a C+. Jimmy Ward has a lot of health concerns. Jalen Petrie, I don't think belongs in that same position he played last year. I think moving him down to nickel will be a good move for him. Kalen Bullock is a rookie, obviously. Eric Murray was hurt all last year. So was MJ Stewart, and screw Lonnie Johnson. That guy is whatever, dude. That guy, when he left, he caused a lot of problems with the fans. Yeah. Still, but maybe he'll make the team. He's on the bubble, though. We know that.
We'll see. Yeah.
He might make it over Murray and Stewart, though, because he's younger.
Yeah.
Hey, watch him just go stupid this year, and I'm like, damn, bro. Like, why did
maybe D'Amico just unlocks that hidden potential. Perhaps. I see safety and D tackle as groups that I feel like we're going to see some signings leading up to week 1 of the regular season. Like, yeah, I feel like we're going to add some pieces while we're trimming down the roster. We'll see. Other teams trim down, we pick someone up. It could happen.
And by the way, guys, Justin Simmons and Quandre Diggs are still free agents. I have a feeling that depending on how preseason goes, Caserio will invest in one of those guys to bring in if they let go of Murray, Johnson, Stewart. He might try to bring in one of those guys that have been really good past couple of years.
Yeah, and who's on the Dolphins too? Who's still a free agent?
Xavier Howard.
What happened with him?
Dude, he wants to come, man. He wants to come to Houston, but maybe his price tag's too high. Maybe he wants too much money, even though he probably deserves maybe $6 or $7 million a year.
I thought something happened, like some negative press. I don't know. By the way, that press about Byron Murphy on the Seahawks was pretty crazy. If y'all want to look into that, like Nathan was advocating hard for Byron Murphy to be drafted by the Houston Texans and for us to move up. And there's an extortion case right now where he was being unfaithful to his wife. It's pretty interesting. Y'all should definitely check it out because it's going to raise some eyebrows.
Yeah.
But I think we can consider it a bullet dodged. I'm liking the Kamari Lassiter pick more every day, so we'll see. But
we didn't give up our future for this guy. So.
Yeah. Last group, special teams. We give them an A, man. Like, this group is really great. I've always been an advocate of Kaimi Fairbairn. Undoubtedly a really good kicker. John Weeks, an H-Town legend at this point for being our longest tenured player. Tommy Townsend, Pro Bowl punter coming from the Chiefs, Super Bowl champion twice, maybe 3 times actually. And then Dare Ogunbowale, our backup kicker. And you know what? It's funny to put him there, but that's valuable to have a backup kicker on your team. Like, it really is.
Justin Reed is that for Harrison.
Right. And Dare Ogunbowale, man, like, you talk about Schultz being the reason why we made the playoffs. Like, you can say the same thing about Dare, like making that field goal. Like, we needed him in that moment. And he came through. So
Sure.
Our returners, by the way, Damian Pierce, Steven Sims, Tank Dell, Desmond King. Those are all of our list of returners. There's a couple more that, quite honestly, I've never heard of. No, actually, that is all of them. Never mind. So really good return group, too. Sims had that our only touchdown against the Ravens in the playoffs last year. Damian Pierce had a return for a touchdown. I could have put Andrew Beck on here, too. But great group. Any thoughts about the special teams group? You liking the A ranking?
Yeah. We agreed on that also, not just because of the players on special teams, but the coach, right? Frank Ross is a really good special teams coach. We've always been a really good special teams team. All around, just really good. I know when we lost Kaimi last year, it was tough. When we lost Cameron Johnson, it was tough, and we had to deal with
Zentner,
Ty Zentner, who went to Tennessee and somehow grew a leg.
All of a sudden became a Hall of Fame punter. So great.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell happened? Dude? Like, maybe he just wanted to get out of Houston and go wear the Oilers uniforms.
He was like, wasn't this guy netting 31 yards on our team, and now he's booting it like 60 or 70? Like, what?
It was crazy,
dude.
It was. Remember when I called you? I was like, wasn't this dude like punting 20 yards like not too long ago?
And I was like, no, that's not him. Yeah, that was.
And it was him. It was.
Oh yeah, I just didn't recognize
Titans punter.
I didn't recognize him. He was a different person. So
he wanted to go wear Oiler uniforms and lose in them, I guess.
Yeah, so, I mean, it couldn't be me personally, but yeah, that wraps it up. We were thinking about doing coaches and even the owner, but you know what, man?
We all know how that's going.
Yeah, we all know that was enough. So again, super exciting to have some high grades in there. Definitely some question marks, but for all intents and purposes, considering previous seasons, it's a great time to be a Texans fan. We are super excited about the Hall of Fame game and about the season starting out. We're excited to put out more podcasts. Like we got this one. We're wrapping up at around 10 p.m. right now. And we love talking Texans football, and it's about to be the best time of the year. In my eyes, the best time of the year is week 1 because you don't know what anyone is. And it's just so exciting to watch teams play for the first time. Last year, Giants getting blown out 40-0, just like crazy stuff happening. So yeah, we're super excited. Nathan, any parting words?
Yeah, guys, just wanted to say congrats to Andre Johnson, first drafted Texans player to make the Hall of Fame. He was a beast, still a beast. Hopefully he can become part of the coaching staff in the future. Also, good luck to us tomorrow. Hopefully we win this game. I think it'll be good for morale to end up with a win, and D'Amico can really evaluate how we handle wins with our second string guys and how we can handle the pressure of close games or, turnovers or whatever the case may be. And I think maybe colder weather. I don't know how hot or cold it is in Ohio right now, but, we'll see.
Illinois. Oh wait, is it in Ohio? I'm sorry, I'm stupid.
Yeah, they're in Canton, right?
My
Canton,
bad.
Ohio,
I wasn't thinking. I thought it was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Also, it's been awesome seeing Andre Johnson around the team during training camp. That has been super cool. Just like watching him be a part of the team again, because we were really in the dark ages for a while, and you wouldn't have seen him out there normally. So
yeah, no, cool. I mean, he loved, him and D'Amico are friends. But yeah, guys, so like I said, just congrats on a magnificent career. Congrats on, making Texans fans fall in love with Houston football again. The guy was amazing. We all love him. And go Stros also. We play tonight. Hopefully
we were down 4-3 last time.
I think we won the game, guys. 4-5.
Good.
So
good.
We lost the past 2, but we're getting back. And by the way, let me just end off with this. We're a Texas podcast.
I know what you're about to talk about.
But screw Dana Brown for getting rid of Joey Loperfido. Worst move in MLB history. We got a guy that's pitching a 4.8 ERA, and we give up upcoming star outfielder for him.
Would it make you feel better? Would it make you feel better if I told you that we only have him for 2 more months?
Oh yeah, because the contract's ending.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
Congrats, Dana Brown. Hope you're fired after the year, dude.
Hey, regardless, Tyson Bagent, Davis Mills, be there. It's going to be a great
there.
moment in history.
All right, guys.
Peace out, y'all.